Cookie Run Kingdom Hearts style guide.
How I draw cookies. Cookie anatomy.
Most cookies are about 2 heads tall regardless of body type.
Shorter cookies are about 1 1/2 of a head tall.
Eyes can either have dark or light icing, or both.
The face is squished. Eyes and mouth should be close to each other. Designing the cookie.
I'll design Tapioca Pearl Cookie during his researcher days as an example. Pick some themes.
CRK clothes and props are made up of varying amounts of simple detail. Focus on emphasizing 1 or 2 shapes.
Head height check.
Line art. CRK's line art fluctuates between thick and thin. Sometimes there's little to no outline.
This goes for both natural illustration and default sprite. This is the brush I use to achieve the look.
The head doesn't have to be a perfect circle. A little bit of a squish gives it some charm.
Go in and erase a little to add some manual line thinning.
Coloring.
Lay down the flat colors. Color line art.
Line art can be exempt from some areas you see fit.
The colors of each outline is determined by the colors inside the line. Add light gradient shading. Give those eyes some razzle-dazzle.
CRK lighting and shading tend to have soft edges and parts of it blend into the base colors.
Flat colors plus colored line art plus basic shading / lighting equals default sprite.
Compressed him a bit. Serious coloring.
When adding shade or light, the line art color is also affected.
Flip a multiply layer on top of everything for shading. It should look like this. Flip an add layer on top of everything for lighting.
You can adjust the opacity of these layers as you like.
To make things look faded like this.
Use this eraser at around 50% opacity.
Observe.
Add subtle glow for seasoning. Main thing is to practice. Tapioca Pearl Cookie's grown a little since his first rendition. Tweening guide.
How I animate my silly cookie. Prepare your layers.
I drew Tapioca Pearl Cookie a crispier splash art to use as an example.
Everything was drawn with care on Ibis paint.
Make sure the cookie has layers like an onion.
The more detailed the cookie, the more layers they will have.
Smack those layers together like a cheeseburger on a light motion.
Categorize your layers into groups. In order to move multiple layers of the same type, e.g. hair layers, all together, Quick Tools tore on a light motion that I'll be using.
This is where you duplicate and select all layers.
This is where you make layers move.
Tap again, and you can adjust pivot points.
Rotation tool here.
Stretching / swishing tool here.
Keyframes determine when and how long the movement occurs.
Graphs dictate the amount of bounce the movement has.
Effects tool here.
Pivot points.
Pivot points are what anchors your cookie's parts together, so their wigs and joints don't get snatched. Blinking.
In the eyes group, start with a simple blink.
Pivot point should be a little bit below the eyes.
Add keyframes for closing the eyes.
Squish the second keyframe.
Add this graph to the first keyframe.
Add keyframes to the beginning and the end of the closed eyes. To prep for transition from closing eyes to opening eyes.
Stretch the first and last keyframe ever so slightly. Add these graphs to the first and second last keyframe.
Add keyframes for opening the eyes. Put the same amount of swish on the first keyframe like when the eye closes.
Add this graph to the first keyframe.
It should look like this. Hair.
There are 2 main effects I use for hair. Swing and wave warp.
In the hair group,
Pick a layer and add the swing effect. Frequency is for how often the layer swings.
Angles determines how far and which direction the layer goes.
tweak the settings until you like what you see.
Copy and paste the adjusted swing effect to the other hair layer.
Each layer of hair should have slightly different angle settings to give it some pizzazz.
I usually just go off of what I see.
After all that swinging, add the wave warp effect.
Magnitude determines the strength of the waving. Warp angle is for the direction of the waving.
Adjust these settings to however much going you want in the hair.
Then copy and paste the adjusted wave warp effect to each hair layer.
Hooray!
Body movement.
The complexity of this process will vary based on how intricate the cookie
Start
is.
by linking some layers together. With this little button here.
The Shiggy Wiggy.
Choose a type of movement/transformation type you want to apply.
Then add keyframes at the beginning, the middle, and the end of the layer.
The middle keyframe is where you'll move the layer.
There can be multiple middle keyframes if that layer has more than a single movement.
In this case, I'm making the arm your little swing.
Add this graph to the first and middle keyframes.
Repeated this process for the upper arm as well.
Observe.
Apply the same 3 steps to the rest of the body and adjust as you go.
Tip for flowing fabrics. Adding a subtle wave warp effect can help make it more fabricy.
To add the finishing touch, group all your layers together.
Add keyframes to the beginning, the middle, and the end of the grouped layer.
Add the middle keyframe. Move everything up a bit.
Add the graph to the first and middle keyframes.
Export the cookie as a transparent GIF.
Yippee! Yay!
Hope you learned something.
Thanks for watching.